I want to talk about who owns learning and development. Clients come to me to get help with a learning strategy, and they describe an ad hoc approach. They describe training and development programs that aren't measured, and they describe a duplication of effort between learning and development and different areas of their organization. We talk about how a learning strategy can help them be more intentional and more consistent for employees. So regardless of where that learning and development is coming from, it's a consistent approach experience for employees. We talk about elevating it even further and having a planned approach to how things are done, so it's not random. And then we even talk about, could it be strategic, which is our goal with the learning strategy, is how can we make sure that we have a clear plan of what it is that we're doing, and where we know that it's aligned to the organization's goals, and we're able to start measuring the effectiveness of all of our efforts. So one piece of getting from that ad hoc to that planned and even strategic approach is looking at that client ownership piece. So let me draw a little bit for you, a model that I've come up with to help explain that ownership element to consider. So we can think of concentric circles. So at the very beginning, or the very inside circle, we have what learning and development owns. And this might be a leadership development program. Maybe learning and development kind of owns or is responsible for onboarding in your organization. Maybe it's all the soft skills or the difficult skills, feedback, performance management, things like that. So there's a clear piece that you are responsible for and you're owning and managing. The next circle out is where I would say that you're consulting. And this is where you don't have direct ownership of it. Maybe there are different areas in the business that are responsible for doing this. But again, to create that consistent employee experience, what we want to do is make sure that, that there's some standards in place that will help with that. So this could be something like maybe the marketing department has a marketing program, or even better yet, maybe the sales area within your organization brings in some sales training. So it absolutely makes sense that they might own that, but what you can do is consult on kind of the quality of that learning and development experience. So making sure that it's not just a talking head with really text-heavy slides, making sure that it goes beyond learning and that there's an opportunity to practice so that people start getting at that transfer of learning. So maybe it's setting up some design standards around this is how we do learning in our organization. And then the third circle is places where you collaborate. So this is where you have more of an arm's length influence. So I'm working with a law firm right now, and their Center of Excellence, Learning and Development Center of Excellence is wrestling with this. And there are pieces where they own and pieces where they consult, and they're responsible for the non-legal staff. The legal staff has a whole separate area of learning and development for all the lawyers. And so that might be a place, they haven't decided yet, but that might be a place where they decide to collaborate with. So they're not going to extend their design guidelines and their training standards to the legal side, but they might collaborate with them to see where are there opportunities for us to share best practices and to share resources and things like that. And then I would say anything outside of the circle is stuff that they're not responsible for. So in working with clients, helping figure out this ownership of who owns what helps reduce the duplication of efforts and helps move from a really ad hoc approach where training is an inconsistent experience for employees to one where it's consistent, it's planned, and even strategic and aligned with the organization's goals. Let me know if this approach could help your organization go from that ad hoc approach to more of a strategic approach. I'd be happy to have a conversation.